Hey YouTube, and welcome back to Mike's Mini Motors. So this episode we're going to be putting this on the Honda Ruckus. This is an OEM Honda Grom fender, and they can be bolted up to the Ruckus fairly easily. You can pick up these brackets. I got these from Caesar at Small Engine Velocity, and then you just got the two bolts here for the fender to mount to, and then this third hole, actually your axle slides through it, so it mounts it to the bottom of your shock here. The nice thing about that style is then when you hit a bump and stuff like that, the fender travels with the wheel, so it won't collide, unlike the stock fender that came on the Ruckus. Another thing I picked up from Small Engine Velocity is this nice little guy. It's a little cup holder. It's a nice little piece of steel, bent and then powder coated. It just bolts right here to your frame, and it'll just be nice to be able to have a water bottle or whatever I want with me when I'm riding. So let's go ahead and just jump right into it. Alright, so first things first, I'm going to have to get the straps off this thing because right now it's pulling it down and kind of compressing the suspension. And I'll put the jack under here and lift it up so that I can just be completely free from the wheel vise there. And yeah, we can get this Grom fender installed. So now that we got the front end up in the air, I did take the fender and try to test fit it on there, but these rear bolt holes, I don't know if they're what they're for originally on the Grom, but they were not wanting to really pass through the wheel shock area without me trying to deform it and stuff. So when I pull the axle out anyways, I'm just going to drop the whole wheel down, and this should be able to slide in easier. So that's what I'm going to do right now. While test fitting this, I ended up just pushing it in there and leaving it. Should have put the bracket on first, but I didn't. Oh well. One thing that I lucked out on is when I was building this bike, I accidentally ordered an additional set of these red dress-up washers, and they fit perfectly in here. So I'm going to use those just to kind of keep it the color scheme. And here's the hardware I ended up picking up. I went with a M6x1 bolt with a 16mm length. I went ahead and bolted up the other side, and I think if I were to do this again, like the nyloc nut stops like right at the end of the thread, so it's still locked with the nylon, but I would have probably went for the 20mm just to get that little extra thread bite. But I'll go ahead and get this bolted on here, and then we should be able to just slap it back together. Alright, so the bracket is now bolted to the fender, and as you can see, these dress-up washers actually work pretty good. So if you're wanting to put them on here, the tank ones are what these are, at least the ones I picked up from the ruck shop. They fit right in here, so if you want any dress-up ones, those ones should work. So now this just lines up here on both sides, and we can put the wheel back up and slide the axle through, and then the fender's mounted. Okay, before I put the wheel back up here with the axle in it, I'm going to go ahead and move on to the cup holder install, just so I've got room back here to get my hands and stuff, and I can move the fender a bit right now still. So first off, if your frame still has it, there's just this little rubber plug. I don't even know what it's for. So I'm going to just take a pick and get that pushed out, and then we just bolt the cup holder right on. So once you get that rubber plug out, that if you had it, it's real simple to install this. It's just you line it up, and this came with hardware with the bolt and a nice black dress-up washer. Didn't come with the nut that goes on the back side, and I don't know if that was just an oversight or what, but I found one that I have here that I'll put on. But one thing I think I'm going to do first is I'm going to put a few strips of electrical tape or something on the back side of here, just to try to keep it so where this doesn't rotate or have a chance to, and then maybe help reduce any vibration if there's a possibility of that. So I get some tape on here and get this bolted on. And with that, the cup holder is now mounted. Nice and sturdy. The only thing that was a pain was to try to get the nut on the back side behind the frame here, and then getting my ratchet on it. But other than that, it's solid, and bam, water. So normally if I ride with my backpack, I'll have a water bottle with me, but now I can ride, especially when the summer when it gets hotter, and not have to worry about having my backpack, and I can still have a water bottle with me. So now let's just get back to the front, get this wheel bolted up, and then see how that fender looks. So there is the Grom fender installed and everything. It's really simple. On this side. And one thing I was going to point out too is there is a bracket, like a stud that sticks out on that side. I think it's for the stock cable hold or something like that, I'm not sure. But I just drilled out the rivet here and pulled the whole thing out because I'm not going to be using it. And then even right there you can see there's the cup holder ready to rock. Be good for these warm summer days coming up. Well, there's the fender and cup holder installed. They're both fairly simple installs, and I think the front fender, you know, adds quite a bit of aesthetics to it, and then the cup holder is just functionality, which would be nice. But with that, all I have left now is to get her off the lift and go for a drive. And today's a really nice day, so that's the plan. But that's gonna wrap up this episode. If you're liking the content, go ahead and hit the like button. Leave me a comment if you want, leave me some feedback or anything like that. And subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. And with that, have a good one, guys.